Welcome to another round of Small Business Stories. I am Mike Downhour with Quentin Durr from Louisiana Catalyst.
How's everybody doing?
Hey. And with us, we've got Cody Foster from Conterra. Cody, welcome to the Monroe Chamber broadcast.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, what is a Conterra? Do you know, Quentin?
I do not.
Let's ask Cody.
Conterra Networks is it's a fiber internet service provider. We also do private networks, dark fiber, wholesale, waves, phone systems. Basically got our fingers in everything communications based on fiber at this day and age.
And how prevalent is Conterra in our Monroe area right now?
It's very predominant at this point in time. We've built it out of a very dense network. We have over 75 new miles that were just added this recent years in Monroe, West Monroe. We've also expanded our network in Shreveport, Bossier, and Ruston as well.
So when we see all the work on the side of the roads and the cables and all that going in there, is that part of what you guys are doing?
Yeah, that is. We bury our fiber, which that's one of the things that makes us a little bit different is that our network is 100% buried, is 100% fiber. There's no copper touching it. But yeah, you'll see our guys or some of our subcontractors out there, and they'll be putting in the fiber with directional drilling. So that's what everybody sees over there.
Yeah, and you see a lot of that going on. I know there's a lot of money being pumped into that system. So how much y'all seeing that far as from a growth standpoint, and what is that going to do for y'all for a just service and local business?
I'd actually really like to thank the area, the community, and the business owners that have actually adopted our services. We've grown exponentially. It's myself and Kristen McCormick work this area. And we've actually had substantial year-over-year growth, upward over 100% in our market. We're actually leading Conterra nationwide as a market right now. So we're really expanding, and we're really helping out a lot of the smaller and medium and even large-sized businesses in this area get connected to the internet with a reliable service.
Okay, let's just say a new business is coming into town and they're looking at opening up. At what point do you bring in you guys, Conterra?
Well, the earlier is always the better, because that way you have more time to plan things on those lines. And like I said, we build our network for reliability. So we do bury it into the building. If we don't already have it in the building, it might take us a few weeks to go ahead and get any permits, things on those lines. So the earlier, the better. So we can actually kind of see what level of service the customer might need. If it's a multi-site, if it's a single site type situation, we could just basically quote them just internet and phones, or we could build them a private network that's extremely nice. It's for multi-site businesses, mostly large corporations, banks use them. But yeah, the sooner the better. I would at least give us, try to have 30 days prior to you needing to be in there.
Yeah, I would say reliability is one of the most important things when it comes to internet.
Yes. Because
it's directly tied to productivity. If you don't believe me, cut the line on your internet and see how much work you get done.
Yeah.
That's what some experience that we've had with a lot of work going on with Benoit Rec Center and stuff, and not having, because once you lose internet, I mean, you're pretty much down. But that was my first introduction to Cody. Was reached out to us one time, I think it was at a local event.
Yeah.
And Cody's like, hey, I want to get involved. And so he immediately helped us, got us connected. And I'm trying to follow him wherever I go, and I'm always harassing him because I always have questions about internet, and he's my go-to guy on that. So, and even on my personal side, we have a marketing company. We have to upload a bunch of videos, and that takes internet. And
it does.
And if it's slow or not reliable, I mean, you're talking about one video can take an hour or two. It's not.
No, you're right. You bring up a really good point, because that's why we deal with fiber. It's the newer technology, everything on those lines. It's not a shared network. It's actually dedicated. So a business owner will actually get the amount of fiber that's on there, what they sign. They actually get that. They don't share it. It doesn't slow down when all the kids get out of school and everything. But reliability is basically what we stake our name on. We build the network specifically for people to stay up, so they don't have to really worry about any type of drops in productivity or efficiencies. Just for an example, if you have a cable or a copper network, they have what's called a 99.9% uptime guarantee. Our fiber comes with a 99.99% uptime. What that basically means is in their contract, they're stating that they're going to give you a service that can go down for more than 10 hours in a given year. Ours is saying that we could potentially go down for less than an hour in a given year. And what that basically means is we're actually giving you a contract saying if you go down at all, we're actually going to end up paying you back credits because we believe in our service that much.
That's different.
Yeah, that's a lot different.
Yeah, so and we're proactive with our customers. When we get new technology or new upgrades, I've actually spent a lot of time with my clients over in Shreveport Bossier the last couple of months, just kind of getting people upgraded, keeping them up to date. Like even though they might have older plans with us, there are newer plans that give them so much more data, maybe for less money. So we proactively try to keep the relationship going with our customers. We're not a business where we just sell you internet service and we just kind of poof, disappear. So we like to keep those relationships going, make sure that you have everything you need now and for the future. And we always like to hear, all the good stories because, from my previous working with internet companies and stuff, I would always have to hear the horror stories about, well, I was down and everything. When now I just get to hear about, I was like, hey, I'm glad you came by because we forget you exist because we never call. So it's very nice. And the reliability is huge for business owners. And it keeps the lights on, like you said, it really does.
Well, I know I come from other companies too that completely relied on 24-hour internet service, and it would go down overnight. Well, we schedule a lot of our heavier downloads and heavier things to happen overnight. So then when you come in the morning, you're so far behind, it's partial projects done, and that has been so frustrating.
Oh yeah, and that's another benefit of fiber. You get symmetrical speeds too, along with the reliability of not going down. But what we do is we'll actually be notified if there's an outage. We put equipment in there in your when we do install for a customer, we put equipment on there that will notify us if there's an outage, and we'll roll a truck. And if it's something that we could fix without insurance, we'll go ahead and fix it, and you won't know about it beforehand. But outside of that, the upload speeds, when you do have heavy overnight work, things on those lines, they're symmetrical, meaning they're symmetrical and synchronous, meaning that you get the same level of upload as you do download at the exact same time. Whereas a lot of other providers will give you a high download and a very low upload. Right. And that's a huge benefit for any company that is doing any type of heavy uploading, sharing, things along those lines. Banks, tech companies, server companies, radio stations, marketing companies, anybody that does a lot of data will definitely want to have symmetrical speed.
So if I'm a small business and I'm doing some uploading video, what's like the recommended minimum, or what would you recommend? Like, hey, this is what you need far as speed wise, because you see so much advertised and you get confused on this sounds like a lot, but then it's not guaranteed, and then if you do a speed check, you're upset because it's not what you're getting.
Right, exactly.
And
you're right.
What is for just the normal business owner, what's that benchmark? And
I mean, so on average, what I would say a normal size small business owner, they do a handful of videos uploading, nothing really major, but a 100 by 100 speed is good. You're going to get all the downloads you're going to need. You're going to get all the uploads you need. That's with a dedicated service. Whenever you go with something along the lines of a cable company or a shared product, because there are shared fiber, a large company in here, they use shared fiber. So what that means is basically your upload could be cut down, your download could be cut down based on all the people in that same area. So if that's the case, you need a little bit higher speed on a shared network than you would, but as long as you have 100 upload for a small to medium customer, you're going to be okay on the upload aspect of it. Now, if you are a small doctor's office or you have a radiology or anything like that, you definitely want to take a look at doing some more. But just thinking of a small, either service or retail place, 100 would be perfect.
What if I'm uploading a bunch of video?
That would take care of the video too. It really would. Okay. So you really don't recognize how much you use until you actually do it, whenever you have that level of service. But it goes a lot faster. The latency's smaller too. So I mean, it's the speed of light. Once it gets out there, it's quick.
What about security? What if I am that doctor's office and I've got these regulations or guidelines, or even you guys fool with private networks?
So private networks are great, and from a security standpoint, real quick, we always recommend that you do have a hired professional for your security needs that can do firewalls, remote backups, and things along those lines. And we have products that go along that line, like a private network or Cloud Connect, where we will actually connect directly into the cloud fabric of, say, your server. We deal with I think we have over 1,000 different companies, major companies that we connect directly into. They bypass the internet, so they go that much faster, and they don't go through the general internet. So it's far more secure from that standpoint. But as far as the private networks are concerned, a private network is basically a network that will touch all of your locations. It's not an internet, but all your locations can communicate with each other internally outside of the internet. And then we can plug in our internet at one or two of those sites. Just say you have 5 of them, and we put it at 2 of them in the internet, just, say goes down in Baton Rouge office. The site in Monroe here can still feed your private network internet. So you have a level of redundancy.
Is that an intranet? Is that
basically
the right terminology?
An intranet. A private network is the basis of an intranet. There's more components to it, but yes, you very much similar to. But you do need a private network for an intranet on certain levels. But we also use. We're just about to launch our SD-WAN appliance, which builds a private network regardless of what internet service provider you have. So that's a very popular, secure way to do private networks that is very popular among IT vendors these days. But when it comes to security, having a dedicated service is always more secure than going over the general shared internet. And like I said, always recommend going to your IT professionals to get a full diagnostic and security check just to make sure that your business is protected. But we do offer some things that, like I said, help that out. We actually just launched Managed DDoS. That's a feature that basically filters all of your traffic. It doesn't actually see what's going through. It just looks at the headers, and any signs of a DDoS attack, it actually takes it away, doesn't send it to your network, and filters it out so that your service doesn't go down, so that denial of service attack fails. So it's been very popular. It's actually rated in the top 10 in the country as far as the vendor we use, and it's really good stuff to just kind of help those types of security breaches.
What else does Conterra offer? I'm sure fiber and internet and all is a lot of your business, but it's not all.
No, that's not. You're right. I mean, like I said, I mentioned private networks. We do managed LAN, managed routers. We also do voice. We do POTS lines. I know a lot of people, POTS lines have gone extremely high up in cost. Well, if you have that situation, you can contact us. We do POTS lines, or we'll call them analog sometimes, you'll hear. We also do voice over IP systems. We can work with an existing equipment that you already have, either a PBX or a phone system that you might have gotten from a local vendor, or we can supply phones for you. The same thing with our voice service is with our internet. We put equipment on ours that monitors the connection to ensure that you're always up. And if for some reason a connection goes down, we're proactively rolling trucks. So it's one less thing that the customer has to worry about. But those are the big products. We also have divisions in the company that does carrier, wholesale, wave, fixed wireless, and dark fiber as well. These are all products that are on a larger scale, your heavier, larger enterprise level things. But we do handle all of those things. Our major bread and butter, though, is our fiber internet, private networks, and voice services, though.
What about contacting you guys? If I'm watching this podcast and I'm liking what you have to say, can I call you for a price comparison? Can I call you? Tell me what kind of calls you guys get and how to get in touch with you. Yeah,
and that's a really great point, Mike. So setting up an appointment with us, it does a couple of different things. First of all, it gives you an idea of what else is out there. We might not be the cheapest. We'll save you money in the long run, more times out of none. but we'll keep your existing service honest, because we'll look at what you have, and if they're charging you an arm and a leg for it, and we're offering it something else, even if you don't like what I have to say, you can go back to your existing provider and probably get a better deal after you get a quote from us. But yeah, the best way to contact us is you can go to Conterra.com, Conterra.com, or just give me a call. You can call me at 318-423-9737. And that's probably the best way to reach one of us, and I can set up an appointment with you and go over everything that you might need for your business and get you a customized solution-based quote, so that basically what we recommend, and then kind of go from there and figure out what best fits for the customer. So,
tell me a couple of horror or success stories, depending on how you're looking at it. It's Halloween time,
Yeah, I like it. I love Halloween.
Client X called you and said, what? And you guys were able to solve that problem.
Oh, yeah. It's really crazy. I have a really good story. This is actually a customer. I won't say the customer's name, but they're a local customer here. And it was over a year ago. It was, I think, probably my second sale with Conterra. I just happened to be calling a customer, and they started getting so upset because all they heard was internet, and they were cussing me out and everything, and they thought I was their current provider. Oh. And whenever I explained it to them, they're like, "No, yeah, come over." And I got an earful about what was going on, got to see how they had sold them 5 different services for the same building, and just kept telling them these things. Oh, this will fix it. This will fix it. And basically what we ended up doing, we ended up taking all their bills, consolidating into one bill, just one connection, and their voice service. Ended up saving them $500 a month. Ooh, and yeah. I still go by there and just talk to them every once in a while, because I got to know them pretty good. But yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. Is just people don't really realize that, we're trying to help people a lot, but they don't realize how amazing it is once they actually get this good fiber in. But I'll tell you a horror story. It's from an old position, if that's okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
No names again, but it was a dark and stormy night. And the weather was very bad, and the next day I woke up with probably 50 voicemails. Ooh. Because a whole entire town's internet had went down because one wire had snapped between here and there. Ooh. And it did take 4 hours for them to get the wire connected, but once they found it, they got taken care of really quick, got the whole town back up. But it was the most terrifying day of my life.
Well, I happen to know of a horror story. I don't know if it was Conterra. I hope it was not. This call 811 before you dig?
Yes.
Do you know how important and serious that is?
I do.
Yeah. We were laying a water line, and they came and marked it, and this was not in there. And it was just a whole bundle of all these tiny wires, and that Traco pulled it up, and I just knew I was going to end up paying $1 bazillion to have to do this. Luckily, it was an old dead line.
Oh, thank goodness.
What if it had been a live line? How bad would my neighbors have hated me, and the people over in Zimbabwe too, because it affects everybody.
I could tell you that fine would have been pretty big. Hopefully whoever didn't mark it, the responsibility would have fell on them. Right. If it's not marked, I think that's how it works. But that does happen. And I am proud to say that Conterra, if that happens, something doesn't get marked properly and there is an accident, we do take care of it for you. A lot of the times it's a good thing, because you'll get either new concrete or a recent case, a new grease trap on us because we pierced it. But yeah, our insurance will cover all of that good stuff. But yeah, that's terrifying.
And what kind of person is able to repair the tiny fibers in that big
the
fiber?
Best people. Best people.
I'm telling you, they have earned my respect.
Those people probably are jewelers, ex-jewelers.
Brain surgeons.
Yes, it's really crazy, because these are very small individual fibers of glass. When we say fiber, it's crazy. These guys, they're very talented. All the people that do fiber splicing out there. If you ever get to watch a guy do it, it's super fascinating. So, but Mike, whenever your water pipe bust, was that in West Monroe anywhere?
Oh no, it was.
Oh, okay,
it was in the
that's right. That's
area,
right. Okay. Because that happened to me recently down the road. So it's trying to find out.
And tell us a little bit more about Conterra. We know you sponsored the recent cybersecurity summit that with the Monroe
we
Chamber.
did last year.
Talk about that and if any other things you guys are involved in.
Yeah, we did that. We're double booked for events for this Thursday. We're doing the cybersecurity summit again. We're going to be at a golf tournament in Bossier City, but we like to be active in the business scene as much as possible. We actually do service most of the schools. If they're a parish school, we service all the schools. So we're very active in school development and giving back to the schools. We have a few programs and donation type things on our website that we can actually sign up for, that I'll actually share with the chamber whenever it's that time of year again, to maybe get out a little bit more. But we proactively try to sponsor things that are beneficial for the communities that we serve and the small businesses that we serve, because that's what we like to do. We like to show people that we show up, not just for service, but
and
in
you
the
give
community.
back.
Yeah, we do. We
Right.
do. I mean, and it's one of the greatest companies I've ever worked for, and the fact that they let us kind of pick and fine tune a good bit what's best for our own communities, because we live in them. But giving back is probably my favorite part. I always like doing the chamber events, and hopefully get to keep doing those for a
Absolutely.
substantially
Right.
long future ahead. So,
Well, I'm glad you're still in our market,
Yeah.
serving our market. Appreciate everything you and Conterra do. Anything before we wrap up that you want to end with, or anything you want to let everybody know?
just, if you want a free quote, just give me a call, reach out. We'll see if we can service you, help you out in some way, fashion. If we can't, like I said, we'll always advise you the best route to take. If we're not meant for you, we'll come out and tell you, it's like, hey, you know what, you can get a much better deal. Maybe you're not the right customer for us. But give us a call. Let's sit down and see if we can't help the customers out here and have a more reliable connection to everything and help the businesses grow. It's a really good thing to have in our community, these type of infrastructure deals, because that's one of the things that will attract customers and further businesses to the area. So, and we're going to keep growing with the Monroe, West Monroe, and North Louisiana areas as well. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Cody, with Conterra. And Quentin, that'll wrap it up for us here. And
Absolutely.
thank you for tuning in to Small Business Stories.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.